you know, you do this for a living, you do a career like this, any trade, you're going to end up, you know, somebody depends on you for something. That's always the thing in our trade, in our trades.
I love helping people. I love, that satisfaction of like, whoa, I just improved this person's life. You know what I mean? Like I fixed something for them or you know what I mean? Or I taught them something and being able to help out, I love seeing people smile. I love, the satisfaction that they get.
Man, I feel
Yeah.
like I want to go to this university now.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
I
you.
might
I hear
change
you.
careers. Hola, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable Trades podcast. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and you like this video. And if you're listening to this on the audio over on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other platform, please leave a review. You know, that's all free and it helps support the show and helps it get out to more people. And of course, I'm your host, Adrian Garcia. I am an HVAC technician, licensed contractor here in Texas, and I've been doing this about 18 years. And we just have a lot of good conversations with good people in different trades now, whether it's HVAC, plumbing, electrical. I've had some others in like auto mechanics, anything like that. You bring them on, have a good conversation, and hopefully get more trade awareness out there. So I appreciate everybody who's watched or listened, all the support and making this podcast successful and what it is now. I also want to thank the sponsors of the show, like Jobber, which is a CRM that we use to run our business, which is invoicing, quoting, scheduling jobs, maintenance contracts. It makes it so easy, and all our technicians on our team usually pick it up relatively quickly. I just have to show them what it is and they are able to get out there and start, invoicing everything that needs to be done. I can also update prices, client list, everything remotely, and they have it there on their phone, tablet, or laptop. It's been great running our business with Jobber now, and if you guys want a free trial and discount, make sure to check the link down below, getjobber.com/reliablehvacr. I also want to thank Vito Pro Pack, the best quality bags that money can buy, literally. Spring promotion is the best time of year by far. So check out Vito Pro Pack at your supply house or go to vitopropack.com to learn more. And the podcast is also brought to you by Local. Local HQ is a marketing that is geared towards the trades, and they can help you with your HVAC digital marketing so that you can dominate your local service areas with proven strategies that get your business more leads. They can help you rank higher on Google and all that you would need for your business. So reach out to Local at localhq.com/reliable and mention me or the Reliable Trades podcast and get 2 months of SEO for free. On today's episode, we have Randy, who has competed, won, was the inaugural champion for the US AutoTech National Championship. So we'll dive into what it was like competing on a national stage as an auto mechanic, how he got into the trades, what he does in his day-to-day, and just kind of like some fun little tidbits being a mechanic. But I do want to mention really quick, if you think you are a top auto technician with the skills to compete against some of the nation's best, then you should enter the US AutoTech National Championship. The round 1 digital challenge is a quick 5-minute multiple choice quiz featuring questions provided by the ASE. This could be your next ticket to winning your share of tens of thousands of dollars and an all expenses paid trip to West Palm Beach, Florida this October. Compete for the coveted title of the 2025 US AutoTech National Champion, which is part of the Service Titan Elite Trades Championship. Don't wait, it's free to enter. Head over to usatnc.com before June 30th to compete. All right, Randy, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Adrian. It's nice to meet you. I'm excited to see, what we're going to talk about today.
I'm excited too. There's a lot to go over. You were recommended because of the whole, and I've been talking to a few of the competitors there. You competed in a national championship, basically. So can you introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we'll talk about the competing in that competition.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Randy Giroux. I'm here in Lima, Ohio. I'm attending school, actually university. So I'm here at the University of Northwestern Ohio. I've been a student here for the past 5 years, actually. I've done an automotive and high performance degree. I've done a bachelor's in business administration, and right now, finally, I'm working on a robotics and automation degree. So, and then that's it. I'm tired out of school, so. Um,
I, I
Ready to
can
get into the
imagine.
workforce.
Um, okay, I didn't know all those other ones because I just had you down as automotive. So,
Yeah.
um, you also competed in what is basically the U.S. AutoTech National Championship, right? You've
Yes,
been
sir.
in that since they started it, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I actually had the opportunity to compete in the inaugural year in 2021, and I went into the competition, didn't know what to expect at all. Uh, and I ended up making it down to the final 32 students. And they sent us somewhere cool, which was awesome. We went down to Nashville, Tennessee, for the finals,
Oh, okay.
and it was a big 2 day event, and everything ended up playing into my favor, and I ended up winning the inaugural competition. So it was pretty amazing, and
And
definitely
you're a multiple time winner, right? So what years did you win? And I think you came in second one time.
yeah. So I actually went back to back in 2021 and 2022. And then in 2023, I actually got beat out by a fellow student here at the university that I attend.
Oh,
So that was interesting, some friendly competition, but I
yeah,
mean, is what it is. And then just in 2024, I went back and reclaimed the title. So uh, yeah, it was
that's
good.
awesome.
I mean, I'm proud of it, and
No, I mean that's a really cool thing because I'm barely learning about these competitions, whether it's like national or regional or whatever, for like people in the trades, because like we don't normally hear about that, and I'm barely learning about that, right? I knew there was like trade shows and things you could go to kind of learn more about your own trade, your own whatever you got into, your career. But like competitions, that's a whole other thing. And I can imagine it's fun, but you're trying to be the best because there's a prize up, right? There's a cash prize, there's the recognition. I'm sure you get like a trophy, like all that cool stuff that comes with it. And
yeah, yeah.
like you said, there was a friendly competition because you got knocked off one year, but you come back and you just be competitive about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's the competition adds a whole nother level to it. I mean, it's tough to work under pressure, and especially, that in the field with the automotive stuff, if you're working flat rate in that, your whole career is based off of working under pressure. You got to make money
Okay.
somehow. And with the flat rate jobs and that, I mean, you got to beat the book time and on what it pays, uh, in the auto shop. But then under pressure like that in a competition scenario, on camera, you're competing for a big cash prize, the big trophy at the end. It definitely adds a whole nother aspect to it. And what they've done with the US Auto Tech Championship is definitely really cool. And it signifies, who's the best, and it really allows you to be out there, and you stand on a podium, and you get celebrated for what you do.
Recognized and celebrated,
Exactly.
yeah. Because that's the whole thing with me. Because I've kind of leaned into the social media stuff. I've found other like technicians in my trade, and we kind of like there's negativity. There's always that kind of bad competition, but there's always people that are positive and they want to help you, or it's like friendly competition. You make each other better, things like that. So I've really leaned into that, and I've been to events where I can go with other other people that are like minded. They want to do better. Was that experience similar to that? Like when you went there, was there a good relationship between you and the other mechanics that were there competing? Like the job, was it a positive experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The way they set up the US Auto Tech National Championship, they have it set up so it's like a family and a friendly event where, it's not there's no I mean, of course there's tension between the competitors because I mean, you want to be the one on top, right? But they have it set up in a way that, like, there's a hangout area, and you play games, and you talk, and you go to dinners together, and that, and it's more of a celebration and the recognition of what we do rather than like the tension and the the butting heads and stuff. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, friendly competition for sure.
You mentioned the pressure of competing. Is this televised too?
Yeah, so I actually
So
got
I
aired
can't
on
imagine.
Fox Sports. Yeah, yeah,
So like I just talked to somebody about doing the HVAC competition because that was, they're all the same. They're all televised. You can find them probably on YouTube. I need to go look them up. But like there's cameras on you at all times, right? So I told him
yeah.
I just saw like a small clip of one of the competitions and somebody messed up when they were installing something and they zoomed in like so much on it, and then they had a did you guys have somebody like on the spot asking you guys questions or anything? Because I saw that too, and I was like, I would have been like in the worst mood if I messed up and somebody shoved the
Yeah,
microphone in my face.
yeah, absolutely. So actually, they have Chip Wade. He's the
Oh,
host, I
that's
think, of
right.
HGTV. But yeah, he was on the floor, and he'll get right in your face with the microphone, mid working, and what's going on, Randy? How you doing? Like, how you making out? Are you on task to to achieve your
That's
goal and
hard.
this and that? And it is, and you can't stop. You can't stop and have a conversation with them. Like, I mean, you got sweat dripping off your face, down your
Yeah.
back. I mean, whatever you're doing, swinging a hammer, an impact gun, I don't know, but you
Everybody,
know,
everybody that watches the show will see what a real tradesperson looks like. Full sweat, full stress, everything like that.
absolutely.
I also want to thank Diversitech. They simplify your work. They have everything a contractor needs to complete a job. That goes from equipment mounting, condensate, management, tools, maintenance chemicals, electrical components, indoor air quality, and much more. They have different branches under the same umbrella. More than likely, you're already using some of their products or tools. So go check out diversitech.com, and it's your one-stop shop for everything HVAC. I've gotten a lot of compliments on these line set penetration covers. They're basically, when you get an install done, you have the line set coming out the house or whatever a wall you came out of. You normally have to put like foam spray or cover it up somehow. Eric's has these covers that just look professional, and I like the form factor. I've seen others and they're a little bit too bulky. This one, it just gives you what you need. They have two different models. If you need a slimmer one, they have that too. And what I really like is they finally have now one for existing line sets. Now it's two pieces and you kind of just put them together over the line set and then mount it and drill it in. And it's a good selling point to make an existing install look better. I've gotten so many compliments, like I said. So make sure you go over to ericsmfg.com and check them out. So you mentioned about the rates, as far because you guys in the mechanics, you guys do flat rates a lot, right? Because we do that. uh I don't like to do that because I'm a commercial HVAC tech, so I like to bill my hours, and do that kind of stuff. But I do understand where flat rates can be helpful, this and that. Is a mechanic career a good career to get into? Is there money there? Because I in every trade there's always complaints like I don't make enough, or I don't know if it's a good career. Like, what's your take on being a mechanic?
Yeah, well, honestly, I think it's an excellent career to get into, but the biggest thing is you got to stay focused and you got to want it. You know what I mean? You got to have that determination. And I mean, it's just like going to these competitions, but, if you're going to work flat rate in a garage and that, you got to be determined. Like, you got to have that mindset. I'm going to make money. You know what I mean? And, some of the jobs, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes, you get a little bit screwed,
Yeah.
especially in the north working on northern cars and rust and that. Like, sometimes the rust can fight you in bolts and you break stuff and whatever. You're trying to get to one part and you break another part on the way there. And I mean, that sucks. And then, but a lot of times, like, yeah, it's all about the determination and how bad you want it. You know what I mean? And those guys that are getting into it and want to be an automotive technician, as long as they're determined enough and they put their nose to the grindstone, there's definitely a lot of money to be made in the industry, especially flat rate. If you can beat them book
Oh,
hours, I mean, you're gonna do really well. So
that's awesome. So I like. after I got into the trades, I was never like good with tools or anything. So then I got, I got those skills and stuff like that. So I do, stuff around the house now. And then I started working on, because I had a few vehicles that needed quite a bit of repairs and stuff like that. So I got into it, and I kind of understand like that stuff can be frustrating trying to get into some of these, areas. So I can only do so much, and then I'll take it to a mechanic. And it's just I can imagine, dude, it's like a lot of work working on vehicles day in and day out, one after the other. Some people get frustrated when they go to a car shop and try to get some work done, but it takes a lot of work.
Absolutely. And that's one thing, like from the customer standpoint, sometimes they don't understand, like, wow, why am I getting billed 7.2 hours for spark plugs? Well, unfortunately, you bought a, like,
Oh yeah, it
here's a
depends on the
prime.
car too.
That's right. That's right. And the more modern you get, like, I mean,
That's what I'm
honestly, the worse
worried
the
about.
engineers have it designed for us. Yeah, like honestly, yesterday I'm working on a friend's 2019 Cadillac CT6, and
Okay.
the spark plugs actually bill 7.2 hours for it because like essentially the whole top of the motor's got to come apart to get access to them because they stick like air conditioning lines in the way, turbo intercooler lines. It's a liquid cooled intercooler, so you got to drain the radiator and like it's spark plugs. It's like it's one of
Yeah,
the
I
most
know.
simple essential parts of the engine and supposed to be right there, easy access. But like I mean, they're buried on this car, and it's it makes it tough, but
I
it is what
was
it is.
working on my own. I had a an Acadia that was a newer one, not super new, but a few years back. And I went to go. I'll say I can change the spark plugs, right? Like it's fine. I couldn't get to the last like two or three. I was like, no,
Yep.
I'll just change the ones that I had access to. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it in or something. But yeah, I've that's what I've been worried about the whole. And it's with any trade, technology comes in and kind of shakes everything up. So every time, because I just bought a truck too, so every time I look, me and my dad, when we used to car shop, we would look under the hood and be like, okay, how easy is this to work on, right? Because that's always like a thing. Like they're gonna break down at some point, and I feel like it's just
absolutely.
getting harder and harder when you look at those engines and when you look underneath the vehicle. Like they make things so difficult. I can imagine. Like I don't do what you do, but just looking at it, I was like, I would not want to be the
Oh yeah.
person working on this thing.
Yeah. Well, something we like to say always is, it might be something that in your mind is a simple job, but it requires like $15,000 worth of tools to do to replace $100 part.
That's what
uh,
I tell people too, because I do AC work, and they're like, why are you charging me so much for like a small part? Well, it's like I needed the tools for it. I got to do all this, other things to get to it or whatever it is, and the customer doesn't get it all the time. In a lot of trades, there's a shortage of good, technicians. Are you seeing that in the mechanic world too? Automotive?
yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, at the university I'm at, there's a lot of young guys and girls, which is great to see that are really getting into it. And that's the whole idea of our school, is with the trades and highlighting trades people in that and getting them into that career. But like outside of that, yeah, like,
Yeah.
I mean, the industry's hurting. We need young people that want to get into this and learn the technical side of this stuff. And I don't know. It's kind of been interesting. I feel like COVID threw kind of a big wrench into all of that because I mean, realistically, people were stuck inside, and this and that, and they weren't having to deal with, like that nobody wanted to deal with going outside and dealing with their own stuff and like working on their own stuff. And like it has thrown, I've watched the shakeup happen even in school and here, and some of the students come in and like right now, even there's a young guy that I go to class with on the robotics side. And when he came in, he never touched a tool in his life. He never, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? He barely worked on anything, and honestly now it's great. He's like the most improved in our class and he's excellent, nose to the grindstone. And but it's just interesting. Like I didn't grow up like that, you know what I mean? I was always tinkering with stuff and always playing around with stuff like that. And it just but it's interesting to see like the different levels of expertise and where everybody came from, and it's cool. So, but yeah, I mean, we need young people to get into the trade. I mean, there's lots of money to be made. It's good careers to be had. So,
Yeah, when I was younger, I guess like I didn't see it at that time, but I did tinker, I did love like electronics and kind of taking things apart. So that's kind of where when I fell into what I do now, like I was like, okay, now it makes sense, right? Like I like doing this, and you got to like what you do. But I was not super, mechanically inclined, so like it did take me a while to get the tool part of it because I had a dad that was an electrician. He did a bunch of other stuff. So like I was around tools. My grandfather was a mechanic actually, and I remember being in his little makeshift shop at home. He had this nice little garage built, and he would take cars in and fix them up and work on everybody's stuff. That was really cool. I always enjoyed that time, and I have 9 uncles and aunts. So he had a lot of kids to teach. So they all learned how to work on their vehicles. And I thought that was really cool. Because then
Yeah.
me and my dad got to work on some stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And that's part of it too, the generational passing it down and this and that. And I mean, honestly, I'm like first generation, that's really into cars and headed towards this field. But like my dad and my grandfather, they were both actually arborists, so tree climbing, tree service, and all that,
Oh,
which
yeah.
good career as well, absolutely. But I wasn't really into that, and at first I thought, when I was really young, I thought, yeah, maybe I'll follow my dad's footsteps and be a tree climber and that. But I just, I don't know, I got into cars, and that was
Yeah.
it, man. I mean, that's just
Yeah. Because
meh.
even with my kids, I have kids that are 9 and 11. And one of them has shown interest in what I do, like real curious and stuff. But like for me, it's there if they want to do it, right? Like you can go and do what your dad does, what your parents do, but you can also find your own thing. There's a
Yep,
bunch of stuff that you can do in any skilled trade. So what I'm trying to, get at is like whether it's automotive, electrician, plumbing, HVAC. I mean, these are the things, and I think I saw in one of your quotes there, like these are the things that make, the world go round. This is like
exactly,
everybody has a car, right? Everybody's car breaks down. Like
absolutely,
it's a necessity, and you cannot get anywhere without a vehicle, in this world right now.
absolutely,
Although
100%.
they are bringing like what are those electric scooters and things now to every city, but you
Yeah,
still need a car.
yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I mean, for long distance travel and that, I mean, yeah, cars are pretty much a necessity. And but yeah, and that's the thing too. Like for young people looking to get into the trade, they're worried like, oh, we got all this automation and different stuff coming and whatever. And like, man, I don't know if there's any job security, but believe me, electronics break down too. You know what I mean? You
Oh
know
yeah.
this, I know this. Like,
Well, that's
I
the
don't
funny
care if they're
part.
electric, gasoline
Yeah.
fueled. There's always going to be job security. So.
That's the funny part. I hadn't even like made that statement, but like everybody's always worried about the robot taking over, right? Like a robot doing our job, and I'm real like nerdy with that kind of stuff. So I like seeing the stuff
Yep.
at CES, all the other electronic stuff.
Yep.
I'm real into that kind of those kinds of things. They've been introducing a lot of robots that can do things, but what if that robot breaks down? What if that robot goes haywire? Like it's never gonna completely take over. AI can't do anything that we do. Everything's hands on. So a very, very good career in any trade. So, like, how long have you been technically in the trades, like doing this?
Well, I mean, I'm still in university,
Yeah.
but into cars and like working on stuff, and that has probably been since I was like 10 years old, and I'm 23 now. So,
Oh, so
um,
you've
you know,
always, when you
yeah,
said tinkering, you've always worked on like cars or
oh
something.
yeah, oh yeah, I've
Okay.
been playing with stuff. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
like when
Like,
I say tinkering, I never messed with an HVAC system as a kid, but like I tinkered with other
yeah,
stuff. But like you've actually
yeah.
touched cars before.
Oh yeah. So I've actually been racing, racing cars for a long time too. I actually started racing go-karts when I was 10 years old. And my that was something, I showed interest in it. My parents got me into it. So like flat track dirt cart style go-karts. Um, and then I actually moved into like a bigger full-size dirt car, like it's called a mod light, so it actually ran like 1000cc motorcycle engine, but it was on four wheels and Yeah. So, I've always been playing with cars. And then now at the university, we have a race team at the university, and I've been racing a full size dirt car, UMP modified. It's like 700 horsepower, 2,400 pound car. But, yes, I mean, I've always been playing with cars, always been into it, even street car stuff. Like I've got a Volkswagen Jetta that I really like to work on
Okay.
and tinker with and tune on. Yeah, it's so,
It's always been there. So let me ask you this then. What do you think about like movies like Fast and the Furious? I've seen people talk or nitpick at the kind of scenes that they have there.
yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'm a big fan of the franchise and
Okay.
all that, so I don't mind it at all. I get it. Like I understand some of it. People nitpicking certain parts of it. Like oh, they shifted 17 times. Whatever. But I mean, it's a movie. Come on. I mean, it doesn't. It's not geared at being perfectly accurate.
Yeah.
And it's geared upon the fun and the action factor, and they definitely capture that. So
It
I
is
mean, you just gotta. Yeah.
very exaggerated, but it is very fun.
Exactly. You got to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? And that's the fun in it. You can't depict every little piece of it and expect to still enjoy yourself.
I have to admit, I'm a big fan of the franchise too. Like, I don't care how ridiculous they get. They go to space, whatever. Like, I'm still gonna watch the next movie.
Same here.
Yeah, I just had to ask really quick because since you brought that up and the Jetta and everything, I was like, oh yeah, Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, man. Yeah, actually, that's funny too. My Jetta, the blow off valve is actually based off of Brian's Eclipse from the first movie.
Really?
Yeah, the first scene when he pulls up in his green Eclipse, the blow off valve sound that can be heard is actually it's a Gretty Type S. But yeah, I've got that. It's just an iconic sound. Everyone knows it when they hear it. Like, oh my god, that's a Gretty Type S. So
Okay.
it's just yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome. I've had friends that are into the streetcar stuff and that kind of those kind of modifications and stuff like that. My family, we're into to really classic cars. So like I have uncles and stuff that were and I still have like their kids, which are my cousins, are still modifying and they're like, "Hey, you need this, you need that, I can get you." They sell the parts and stuff. They deal with lowriders, so like that was kind of in our family. Everybody had a lowrider. Everybody had a classic, either Pontiac or Impala. We had a lot of Impalas, and that was
That's
kind of the thing
awesome.
that I was mentioning when me and my dad were working on cars. It's because he had a fixation on these classic cars. So not muscle cars, more the lowrider stuff. So like I said, Impalas, we had a lot of them. We would buy them, fix them up, see if we can keep them or keep them around and then sell it, get another one, fix it up, do stuff like that. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, that's all part of it too, you know what I mean? Like now you have that experience, and that memory and that keeps it all alive, it goes full circle. So
I'm still and that's the nostalgia of it for me because I still have one that I don't want to let go. I have a 62 uh Catalina, a Pontiac.
oh nice.
So it's really nice for me. I like it cuz it's four doors, but it's that style and I just can't let it go. It needs a lot of work right now because it was running up until right before COVID kind of started breaking down on me. I just never had time to work on it. And I feel bad that it's been sitting there for a few years, but I want to get it fixed this year. And it's just, and I've worked on it myself, just doing little things here, like changing out the radiator, fixing the AC in it. Um, Now we had issues with the brakes. So it's a whole thing. It's not easy. I will give
No.
you that. Like the mechanic work, that takes time. That takes a lot of work out of my day to do. So kudos to you, man,
Yeah.
for being in
Yeah.
that trade.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. It
Uh,
is definitely very time consuming and yep. It's just,
yeah, I spent when I first got it, I was like super hyped. I was like, I spent hours, working on it here and there, and it's fun to have it is fun to have a project car. Like when you just have it there, you can work on it. People like that. I just got really busy, but the thing is and I asked you about the shortage of techs, good techs, right? Because I've been having a hard time finding somebody to help me work on it. Like I've been asking around, nobody wants to work on like old cars anymore. I don't know if that's a thing because I'm like I did not think I thought in my head, anything, because my dad would tell me like get an older car because they're easier to fix. But right now, I can't find anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that can be an issue, especially I don't know. I feel like if it's your friends and stuff that you're asking too, it could be like they're worried about messing it up. You know what I mean? Type
No, I'm
thing.
I'm looking on
But
Facebook and all these listings
oh
like, hey,
yeah,
come help me out.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. I mean, that's true though. I mean, in today's day and age, it's tough to find people that really want to get in there and help. Help out, or just good people that want to work. You know what I mean? It's tough to find. It's far and
Have
in between.
you? I also want to thank our new sponsors, CallRail. So I've been more into marketing and just online presence with our business, even though we only do commercial. Word of mouth is really good for any business. But once you get to a place where you want to be, a big name online or just anywhere, be recognizable, like I said, online presence, have a nice website, be able to be searchable in Google and all these different search engines, and just have a big presence. You need to know where to spend your money, and all I'm going to say is that CallRail can help you track that if that's something that you're interested in. CallRail can tell you, hey, these are not working so much. These are working really good. Stop spending your money here. Put more money and effort into this, and just be smarter about what you spend. So make sure you go by callrail.com. They do have a no risk free trial and you can check it out for yourself. I also want to thank another new sponsor, Residio. Basically, they help with a sustainable home and they make it a safer, cleaner, and smarter home. They have so many things that work together. They were showing me the new thermostats that they have going on, how it's implemented together, and all these different little, smart devices that connect and talk to each other. So if you want to learn more, head over to residio.com and check it out for yourself. Have you worked on the older cars versus like newer cars, like, or do you prefer a certain one?
Um, It goes both ways. Honestly, I've worked on new and old. I mean, it just depends. You can gain skill on both. Like the race cars and stuff that I've dealt with. I mean,
Oh
that's all
yeah.
carbureted. It's all small block Chevy based. Like the technology that's been around for a long time. And that's it. You just got to learn different aspects of it. How to tune a carburetor and how to time it. Run a timing light and turn the distributor. And set stuff like that. And I mean, nowadays it's all computer numerical and like my Jetta, for example, that's on a standalone ECU, and I've done I've built the motor somewhat, and big turbo and all this stuff, and running a totally different fuel system, and so I have experience both ways. I mean, the old heads would hate me for saying this, but I think fuel injection personally is superior, just
Okay.
because the computer is accurate, and it can adjust for your different ambient conditions and all that stuff, and it's ever changing. So you know that's why I like fuel injection and the computer control. But I can understand where the old heads are coming from with like the classic cars and the carburation, and you know what I mean, like that type of setup, or small block Chevy. I mean, you can't beat the sound of it. It's just you know I
Oh yeah,
understand where they're
my
coming from.
dad wanted me to add like I guess our dual mufflers, or I don't know what you call it, like on
Yeah,
that one. And
yep,
I'm like,
dual
okay,
exhaust. Yeah,
dual exhaust, there you go.
yep,
And
yep.
he's real into the, like I said, the old cars. So he's like, yeah. He had it in my head, like, they're easy to fix, just work on it yourself. But I don't know. Right now, like I need help with certain things because I can't find everything either for it. So it's there. I'm gonna work on it. That's kind of a goal this year to get that going again, because that was like my weekend car. Just getting out. Riding around. Um,
Yeah, go cruising.
yeah. Oh yeah. My dad always would say that we're gonna go cruising. That's the cruise car or whatever. Like that was always the
Yep.
thing that my parents did on the weekend.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Um, but like and it's funny that you bring that up, the old head thing, because that's kind of what he instilled on me, was like, oh, it's older, it works better, it's easier, this and that, because he hates the new stuff. Um,
Yep.
but you got that in every trade, because I'm kind of the same way. Like in my field, because I've been doing this about 18 years. So like I've been in that period where there's no internet, there's no technology to be used, in the field, to where now everything's on your phone, everything's digital, everything's computerized. We're getting to a point where, some of the guys in our field need a laptop to go around and program things, right? Everything has a computer now. So I get it too. Like the old ways are like set in stone. Those are like everybody's, like you said, old heads, old techs. That's the way they want to teach, or they want everybody to learn that. But I'm getting very, and I used to be like that, but I'm getting very like, you need to keep up with the times, right? Like the newer stuff can be better. And like you said, if we're digital, if we're on a computer or whatever tool that you need for the job, that is like a newer technology, like it is dead set accurate, because you can get down, to the exact number that you need or on whatever you're working on. And I've been saying that lately. I'm like, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but like the new stuff, you got to get with it. You need to go digital. Because our tools used to be analog. Like I was like, you don't know the accurate reading, right? Like you got to get with the new stuff.
Absolutely. And that's the exact same way in the automotive industry. Like, yeah, like I was already talking about, with the digital computer stuff. I mean, some of these cars now, I mean, there's like some of it gets a little out of hand because, everything's power, electronic, power seats, heated, whatever, heated steering wheels, all this stuff. You know what I mean? There can be like 20 computers in one car, you know what I mean? Between different body control computers and engine control, transmission control, they got all-wheel drive control computers. It's just, I mean, it's never ending, but you know, as long as when it all works in sync, I mean, it is definitely far superior. I mean, the cars nowadays, I mean, they borderline drive themselves, you know what I mean? Which, I mean,
Oh, I
I'm
love
not
that.
yeah, do you see? I was just gonna say I'm not too big of a fan of that. Like, I'm like, I want a driver's car, you know what I mean? I want to drive the car,
Yeah.
I mean, the traction control and all that stuff. It is what it is. I mean, I understand it's all driving aids, and you know what? It all has come together to help prevent accidents and stuff like that. And I love that side of it. But in the aspect coming from a driver's
Yeah.
standpoint, like, I want that authentic feel. So
I have well, we have some newer vehicles now. So I was never into, like, I didn't really use cruise control or anything like that, but I was like, okay, like what I'm looking forward to, being older, is all the safety features, like you said, like that come with it, right? So that's helpful. I love having the bells and whistles on the safety side. I started using kind of the some of the newer cruise control self-driving options and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? This kind of nice, because I'm the one that's always driving on our road trips and stuff. So I'm like, I kind of like this.
yeah, absolutely. And
You
that's
can't
like,
trust it. I wouldn't trust it. Like
yeah, you
I'm
got to
still
be
there.
careful with
Like,
that stuff.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know how people do it, because like what I was gonna bring up is all the electronic vehicles now, all the self-driving Teslas. There's, what is it, Riviera? There's a few of them that do it now. So then,
Yeah.
do you do you learn about those, touch those at all?
Well, yeah, actually my university, they have a EV program. I haven't gotten into it.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely. They do teach that stuff. I'm not the
Cause
biggest fan
cause
of
in
it.
cause in the past, I remember hearing so many stories like, you cannot work on your own Tesla. You cannot do this. If something happens, you're kind of screwed there. So
I
now
would
I guess they
agree.
have courses, right?
Yeah, they do
Kind
have
of.
courses. Yeah, they have the courses for it, but I mean, realistically, if you're an owner of that type of vehicle, you pretty much still need to bring it to a shop because you're not going to be touching, I mean, it's all high voltage. You can't touch it on your own. Absolutely don't do that.
Yeah. That's not a
And they
DIY car for
No,
sure.
not at all. Not at all. But that's fine. I understand it. And they're good. Like the electric stuff in that is great for city commuting. I still don't see the use for long-term traveling.
See, I was
But
looking into the Ford Lightning because I need a service vehicle, like to get around, get my tools, and work on stuff. So like I travel a lot, and I was looking at the mileage on them, and I was like, oh, like it's almost there, but it's not quite there. And then like obviously if I can't charge it, that's kind of another issue. So I was like looking into it because I thought they were kind of cool, especially like, being able to power your house and power your tools, stuff like that. So like you said, like I don't know, it's cool, but it's not there yet.
yeah, Yeah, exactly. You're hitting the nail on the head with that. So I was just gonna say, um, honestly, the battery technology is the one thing that's holding us back. They're using lithium batteries and that, and unfortunately, people don't understand
Oh yeah.
that the lithium mining and all that is really terrible for the earth and all that. Which that sucks, that side of it, but the battery technology is just not there. You know what I mean? Like the lithium batteries they don't last over time. They got to get replaced eventually. That the mileage just isn't
I was
there.
gonna say,
But
just think
once
about that. Just think about that phone or iPhone that you had a couple years ago, and now the battery is just like gone. You know.
Exactly, and that's the exact same battery technology, you know what I mean? The lithium ion, and,
Yep.
it's just once the engineers or the scientists discover a newer, better battery technology, electric cars are absolutely gonna, I think they'll blow the combustion engine out of the water. I mean, they do already on, like, the horsepower, torque stats, stuff like
Hmm.
that. It's just the fact of the battery technology is lacking.
That's what I was always worried about too, because there's so many of them in there, and there's so much that could go wrong with those kinds of batteries. I didn't even think about like you said, the mining and all that, because they are advertised as better for the environment
That's right.
and all that, but there's another side to it, right? And then
Yeah, absolutely.
and then once I heard lithium batteries, I'm like, wait, that's in everything that I have, and like all the batteries need to be replaced like within a couple years on a small device. I can imagine the efficiency lost on like something like that, where like the whole bottom of it is basically batteries.
Yep. That's the scary part about it too. I mean, you're basically sitting on a gigantic battery, going down the road. I mean, I don't
Oh,
know
an
how I feel
accident?
about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I just, and that's something interesting too. I mean, we just seen the bad attack that happened, with that Tesla Cybertruck that exploded, because the
Oh,
back
that's
was
right.
full of fuels or whatever it was full of. But realistically, the battery did not ignite. It did not blow up at all. So that's amazing. I mean, I was shocked to see that, because initially when I first came up, I thought the battery was what had failed, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know if act of terrorism or something terrible like that. But, it was amazing to see that the battery actually stayed intact during that. And that, that's good. That's a great thing. I mean, Tesla's
Oh yeah.
definitely moving in the right direction, with that stuff. So it's good.
It's cool to see because, like I said, like CES just happened, so all those concept cars get brought out and stuff like that. And so, it's cool to see the technology and what they want to do with it, but it's still very new. I looked into maybe just the truck. I don't think I would ever buy, or I wouldn't buy one right now, but it's interesting. I know you said you got into it very young, like you've always been into cars, but like when was it that kind of you showed an interest in that,
Yeah.
and
So
how?
honestly, I was probably like 8 years old, I think 9 years old. Well, my parents always used to watch NASCAR on TV and this and that, and I started showing an interest in it and watching it with them. Around 8 years old, and that my parents were like, okay, well, let's go to a NASCAR race. We'll attend a race and that, and we attended our first race, I think, at Pocono Speedway in 2010. And then, we went to Watkins Glen too, and that, and we loved it. We were all about it, and I was all about it. And then it was like, wait a second, I want to get involved in this. I want to get involved in cars, racing, whatever it is. And then that's when, we got the racing go kart, and I started racing karts at 10 years old. So, that was kind of it, man. After that, I was like, man, I'm going to be involved in cars. I love it. And that's it. Anything with a motor though. I mean, I love tinkering with ATVs, Sea-Doos, all
Okay.
that stuff. I've had all kinds. I've had classic Sea-Doos, I've had classic ATVs and stuff. Work on them, rebuild them. And just that's just it, man. I just love it. Anything with a motor and wheels. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
even have to have wheels, motor, propeller, whatever. I'm all about it. So that was probably when I got into it, and it just stuck. Like that was it for me.
It's so cool because and you mentioned that your parents were not in the mechanic world whatsoever, right? Like they were doing completely different careers. You showed this interest, And they were super supportive. That's what I love to hear, right?
Yeah,
Because it spawns this interest, this career, and then like you're doing that now, which is what I want to do
absolutely.
from which is what I want to do for my kids. I would love for them to show interest in what I do, but like whatever they want to do, I'm good with it. Um, but that's the cool part of it is just because like any trade that I get into on this show, like we talk about like how it's applied in the real world, like working on a motor, like so many things have these motors in them, right? Where you can change, the oil or the carburetor or whatever it is. Like you work on a lawnmower, you work on anything around the house, like you can do that having a mechanic's skill, like an automotive skill, because so many things. I know we're going electronic now, I think that or electric now. That's a whole thing, but a lot of things you can work on just knowing how to work on a motor.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you get, even if you just get a little bit of knowledge, I mean, all the small engine stuff is relatively very similar to itself, to each other. Like you said, the lawnmowers, the weed eaters, the leaf blowers, all that stuff is
Yeah,
very
because
similar. So
me
once
and my
you,
dad used to work on our stuff around the house because I'm like, oh, it has a carburetor. Oh, it has this. Oh, it does
yep,
that. Oh, that's like a car. Okay.
Exactly, and that's my dad always he always had the mechanical aptitude in that because same thing. I mean, chainsaws in his trade, with the tree climbing and that. So he was always working on his own equipment. You know what I mean? And it saved him a lot of money. So he didn't have to take
Oh
his
yeah,
saws to the dealer and all that and get them maintenance and worked on because he did it all at home. And that I mean that all definitely applied. And I seen him doing that, and that got me interested in it too, of course. So. Yeah, it all comes full circle. That's for sure.
that's awesome. And it just built and built when you were ready to go to like an actual school. You decided on the university. Is that where you went to directly?
Yes.
The one that
Yep.
you're at?
Yep. Yep. Went to University
Okay.
of Northwestern Ohio straight out of high school. Yep.
How has that been?
It's been amazing. Honestly, like the best experience of my entire life. So,
Because
I mean,
I remember because I went to an HVAC school here, which was a tech school. So they had different divisions for different things like welding and other stuff, and they had automotive, and we used to walk through. I think we I think we needed to use a part of their shop to do our like welding and brazing and soldering. So like we had to go through the shop to get to our little corner and work. And I was just always amazed because they had all the mechanics working and teaching them. So I've seen it in my school, and I thought it was a cool thing. And well, I want wondering about your experience there.
yeah. So, fortunately enough, when I was in high school, we uh we actually didn't have an auto shop for the first 2 years, and then they actually built a new high school in my town, and then it had a beautiful 3 bay auto shop, multiple lifts and all this stuff, and I got really into it there. And then I just carried on. I heard about this school,
Wait, so
University of
you
Northwestern Ohio.
got a head start in high school with it?
I did, absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wish my school had that because I was just talking to somebody
exactly.
else and they were like, yeah, we had a tech school where you could go half a day to do whatever trade you wanted. I was like, I wish I had that because I
Yeah,
think they offered like welding and architecture at mine. That was it.
yeah. Wow, yeah, yeah. We had a whole machine shop, we had an auto shop, all that stuff. So,
That's awesome.
I'm very fortunate for that.
I hope more schools are doing it now, which I have heard they've tried to expand it. So hopefully that's still a thing that's going to be for, my kids.
Yep, absolutely. I hope so too. And then, yeah, so from there, I just carried it into UNOH. And I mean, the first time I toured the school and seen, they had the racing program with the motorsports team and all that, which I've been a huge part of. And that was it for me, man. I knew I had to go here, and I knew I could do my best to try and shine and stand out. And I've done exactly that. So having the opportunities to attend the U.S. AutoTech National Championship and not only attend it but win it 3 times over is insane. I never would have thought that at all when I came out of high school and that. And then not only that, but being a driver for their motorsports team in that for the past
Oh, you
three,
are
four
a
years.
driver then, because
Yeah,
I had seen that in the notes and I was like, driver or he works on them. Okay.
both. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm in the shop all the time, every day, usually working on these cars and that, working on the race cars. And yeah, I race for the university. So right now, actually, we're in the final preparation stages. Uh, and next week we'll be headed to Florida to race at Dirt Car Nationals in a UMP modified. So it'll be like 9 nights of racing straight. Every day I'll be racing. So it's pretty
You
crazy.
must love that.
It's amazing, man. And we bring a big group of guys. So we got like 3 cars that we're racing, and I'm one of the drivers, obviously, of one of the cars. And then I mean, we'll bring like 26 students down, and we're fielding these 3 cars, and we're racing like professional race teams. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be guys down there from NASCAR, like Kenny
Okay.
Wallace, he'll be racing with us, and Justin Haley and David Strammy, and just lots of big names and guys that are big in the dirt racing world, and we'll be the only university or down there racing. So it's like racing in a D1, except like it's higher than D1 because it's like it's professional drivers. So it's pretty insane what the university is able to do. And last year when I raced down there, we had a really good time. And we raced 5 nights last year, and I had like 2 fourth place finishes, a third place finish. So we're really competitive, and it's amazing what the university is able to do. So this year, hopefully, we'll pull off a win and bring
Yeah.
home some trophies. That's the goal.
Dude, that's so awesome. Yeah, because I was reading, I'm like, okay, he like you're doing the work and then you get to, have the fun of driving it. That's a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, we go on with that too with the motorsports team. Like lots of the students have different positions. So like, I got a crew chief on my car, and he's amazing too. Takes care of it, looks over the whole crew, and makes sure everybody's doing their job right, and making sure the car is prepared and to the best that it can possibly be. And then, like we set it up, we have corner guys, so like each guy works on like their specific corner at the track. So like the left front, left rear, right rear, you know what I mean? They take care of all the components on each corner, suspension wise, whatever, drivetrain wise. We got an engine crew that just looks after engine, drivetrain, fuel system. So it's cool how we have it set up, and it functions like a real race team, you know what I mean? So it's cool that the students can get this experience and the hands-on
Yeah.
experience here at UNOH. And it's just, honestly, it's second to none, man. There's no other university like this place.
I mean, you got a lot going on there, but do you work separately from the school? Or
Yeah, so well, no, I actually work on campus at the school while I'm
okay.
here, just at our student activity center. So we actually have a place called Racer Station. Essentially, it's like a big student hangout. We have like a bar set up, like, and we serve food and just play games and pool tables and stuff like that. So I work there, while I'm going to school. So, um,
Okay. Man, I feel
yeah,
like I want to go to this university now.
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
I might
I hear
change
you.
careers.
Don't do that. You're already well established.
Um, oh, this school is like amazing.
Yeah, it
So
is.
then
It
like so far, working there on the cars and stuff like that, like, do you have like a favorite or least favorite part of the automotive mechanic work?
yeah, d- it's a good question. Honestly, a least favorite thing for me is kind of what we were touching on earlier with the newer vehicles, and that is just I don't understand sometimes what was going through the
Oh,
engineer's
that's right.
mind when they placed certain items. You know what I mean? And it's just that's what kills me about
I
about
can't
you
imagine what
know.
you guys go through, because like every vehicle is different, like every
Yeah,
single vehicle.
absolutely. And that's the thing, like, yeah, honestly, this career takes a lot of research, and you got to spend your own time looking at sometimes just what other people have done. You look on YouTube and that, and lots of guys are doing that, of course, like,
Uh,
taking a look at what other people have done, or like guys like Chris
okay.
Fixit that provide, tutorials and stuff like that.
I
But
watch that
even
all the time.
exactly. So, just doing your own research on your own time, and like looking up what it takes, what kind of, what you're going to be looking at for hours, and that, and figuring out, even what bolt sizes, and just, you know, what wrenches, common tools, and, that's
Okay.
what's really going to set you apart. And doing your homework, you know what I mean? As they say, that's what sets you apart. I feel like from a good mechanic
That
to a
is,
great mechanic.
yeah, that is a common attribute or answer that I get when I ask on any trade, right? Right? It's like, what are you doing when you get home, right? The research. Now you can do YouTube, you can do a lot of things, and that Either you learn something that you didn't know, or it just preps you, like you said, tool wise, like what tools do I need? Anything like that. That's always very helpful.
Absolutely.
And I love that YouTube channel, Chris Fix It. I watch it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, he's been around for a long time, and yeah, but he's definitely helpful. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's always cool watching stuff like that because I'm real like, I want to learn how to do this on my car. I want to learn how to do something on my house. So I'm always on YouTube.
Yep, I'm the same here. I'm always tinkering with something, and that's just like I built my own computers, and I love doing that stuff, and even some of the hobby things I'm into, like even
Well,
I
real
race.
quick, I'm sorry, real quick, because I was gonna say like I feel like your hobby is your work, but yeah, if you have like, do you do anything else on your off time? Because I feel like like you said, you tinker a lot, so you probably have a lot of like other little things that you might be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually, yeah, like I just touched on, I built my own computers and stuff like that's, you know, um, I love doing that. It's a good hobby of mine. And then also, I actually race remote control cars as a hobby. So I love doing that. And what's interesting about that is I actually race a car that's very similar looking to the car I raced for the university, just on a lot smaller scale.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's interesting to see a lot of the stuff from the big car actually applies to the little car. You know what I mean? Like all the setup stuff with the suspension and making the car turn better and all this stuff and making it faster on the racetrack, on the little racetrack, applies to the big car too. You know what I mean? And it goes both ways. So it's really cool. So I love keeping busy doing that stuff, and it's easy to work on because you can just do it right in your living room. You know what I mean? Instead of needing
A
a
shop.
huge garage space. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's right.
It's funny because I went down a rabbit hole one time because I was like racing RC cars. Like I didn't know that was a thing, and then I went into it. I'm like, oh, these little things actually, have motors and they go pretty fast and stuff like that. So that's a whole other world too.
Absolutely. Yep, and that's it, man. I feel like I get bored quite easy, so I'm always trying to feed my mind with something new, something different. I'm trying to learn about stuff and just expand my knowledge, and that's just how I've always been. So
Yeah, I'm the same way. I get bored easy. I end up doing or taking on another hobby, and here we go with another rabbit hole going down
hey,
some other stuff.
hey, it's not easy on the wallet, is it?
No, I have to stop myself after a while.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
And so then what's something that you really enjoy about being a mechanic or your favorite part of it?
Um, Honestly, one thing that I really enjoy about the being a mechanic is definitely helping people. I love helping people. I love, that satisfaction of like, whoa, I just improved this person's life. You know what I mean? Like I fixed something for them or you know what I mean? Or I taught them something and that is what really, really gets me is just being able to help out. I love seeing people smile. I love, the satisfaction that they get. It feels like it really pays off for me in that way.
Like we can't be without any trade basically. So I've talked to, plumbers, you got to get water to your house. Electricians power everything. HVAC, nobody wants to be in a hot house or a freezing house. And mechanics, we use our vehicles to commute. I use a vehicle for work. Like it's everywhere. You got to know, or you got to have that trade around that skill. And it's always about helping others because like the people that you end up, you do this for a living, you do a career like this, any trade, you're gonna end up, somebody depends on you for something. That's always the thing in our trade, in our trades. Somebody depends on you for their vehicle, getting them to work or whatever it is, picking up the kids, stuff like that. So it's always cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. And I love like the tying it into everything and how it comes full circle and that. And I really think that's super important, especially in today's societies. Like, sometimes I feel like society gets so separated, you know what I mean? And I love that, even just something as simple as the trades and everyday items that we need, electricity, whatever, plumbing and HVAC and cars and you know what I mean? Like, it's good that we can tie it together and try and help each other out, because that's what we really need. You need the world to be tied together and everyone to be trying to help each other out and make the world a better place.
Do you work on the HVAC in the vehicles?
Yeah, so they do training here for that at the
Okay.
university, and yeah, we I know how to do the air conditioning work and that, and the heating and
Is
that
that difficult
part of it. So
to add that kind of skill to what you do already?
it's not too bad, to be honest. I mean, the machines that we've got dedicated for like the evacuating and the recharge process is pretty simple in that. The all the vehicles are relatively the same. Some systems are just bigger than others. Some of them are placed very terribly, so it makes
I
them
was gonna
hard to
say
get at.
because I do watch like a YouTube channel that does only the HVAC on the cars, and I'm like,
Yep.
oh my god, like I would not want to try and get into those spots.
Oh yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it can get brutal, especially you
I
get into
had
big vehicles.
Yeah, I had an SUV where the the I don't know why the high side was on top, right? It was easy to
Yep.
connect my high side gauge, but the low side gauge was on the bottom between the radiator and something else. I was like, how the hell do I get to this? It
Yep.
was always a fight trying to get one on top, one on the bottom, and then trying to charge it up. And none of the
Yep.
little kits that you get from Walmart ever worked on that. So I had to use like
No.
my real gauges that I use for work to hook up to them. And I was like,
Yep.
like who, again, the engineering part of it, I'm like, who did this?
Exactly. It's brutal sometimes. And then like I was actually just going to get to that with the SUV stuff, like, and then you get on like big SUVs, and sometimes they'll have like a dual they'll have a twin air conditioning, like front and
Oh,
rear,
yeah.
and it's like
Oh, I
double the
never
size of the
touched.
system, and just oh,
Dude, okay, so I had that Acadia that I had, right? It started breaking down a lot. I was always working on it. It was whatever. Most of the times I could fix it. But right before I traded it in, everything gave out, right? So, like I said, I was trying to change the spark plugs and the brakes, and then I think it wasn't turning on sometimes. And then there was one thing, there was the AC. I was like, okay, I can get the front to work because like you said, there's a dual system sometimes. And I Googled it, and it's like, oh, your HVAC system for the back is like in this weird compartment area. And then I was like, and then like I was kind of looking at the symptoms that I had because it wasn't cooling in the back, but the front was cooling and this and that. And it's like, oh, this might be clogged or this might be restricted. And to change that part, you got to get to here. And this, I'm like, I give up. I was like, I'm going to just trade this in, get whatever I can for it, and get something new because
yep.
that AC system was ridiculous.
Oh yeah. So it just gets out of hand sometimes, but I mean, it's all part of the fun.
And it's like with us too, we complain about that kind of stuff in our field. Like the guys that design the system never think about somebody having to work on it. I just don't understand that part of it. Do you have any advice for anybody that maybe has an interest in mechanics, automotive mechanics, and wants to get into it? Do you have anything to kind of sign off on that?
Yeah. My advice to anybody that's trying to get into the trade is just, you got to follow your dreams. You can't let anyone deter you. I don't care, man, woman, it doesn't matter. You got to understand that you are capable of whatever you set your mind to. And that's the key. You know what I mean? As long as, like I said, you put your nose to the grindstone and you really go after what you want, you can achieve it. So that's the biggest thing, is just don't give up. You got to study hard, and that's it. Work hard, play hard.
You're living that right now from this, discussion we had. So that's awesome. And even for me, like people ask me like, why are you like I'm on a rooftop in Texas all day long, but I'd rather be up there than at a desk. Like there's jobs and careers not only that pay well, like really well, not only that are in high demand as we've talked about in this episode, but like it's enjoyable. So like I can't be at a desk. We run a business, a family business. I hate that is my least favorite part of my job is sitting behind a desk, having to do all the invoicing and emailing and stuff. And sometimes I get behind just because I don't want to sit here. So I love
Yep.
doing what I do, being out, being on the roof, working on things, fixing things, the satisfaction of, I did that, I fixed that. Uh, so if anybody, because I'm seeing it with my kid right now, struggling here and there. Like school is not everything. Like I was never a school person. I did get my education in HVAC after high school. Like I did go for it. You're doing that too. And those trade schools, find a good one. You found a really great one too. Um, do your research when you find those schools, and some of them can be really great.
You got to follow your heart and just you got to, you know, get it done.
And
I
or
mean,
just
yeah, sometimes that is the tough part. Like the school aspect can suck sometimes, I mean, the book work and that, but it's got to get done. It's a part of it, and that's it. So,
especially now because of the technology. Because I was gonna say you can bypass school and learn on the job, stuff like that. And I'm sure you've seen it too. But at some point, you're gonna have to do your homework. You're gonna have to research and keep up to date with the times. Because I'm always learning too. The mechanic world, you're always gonna be having something new to learn about, and it's just the way it is. Thanks again for stopping in. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day here.
yeah, thank you very much, Adrian. I'm so glad you had me on the show, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with all my friends and family and everybody, is that way everybody can see this, and watching some of your other videos, and they can get a view into your life. You know what I mean, and see what you do too. So it's really
That's on.
exciting. Thanks again, man.
That's great, man. I'll let you know this has been super fun, a super interesting episode for me. So, everybody watching and listening, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Thank you. Take care.